This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Morning, boys.
I think I forgot the HTTP double oblique.
Colon oblique.
Yeah, that's terrible. I've missed out on that thing.
Yeah.
Does it do anything now, that thing?
No, I've gotten rid of it.
Good.
They used to love a colon and a semicolon. What is it with them and all their bits and bobs?
Isn't it brilliant that we've already reached the stage we can be nostalgic about the internet, which felt like the newest thing ever? Like, oh, yeah, remember Ask Jeeves?
It's got to be on the new Peter Kay tour, doesn't it?
Oh, probably.
Some internet nostalgia.
Yeah.
I always felt-
Whatever happened to the paperclip man?
Ask Jeeves.
I always felt so flashy, a little bit flash when I'd say things like, / Oh, I used to love saying that.
/
I loved it, Frank.
I prefer oblique, you see, for that particular piece of punctuation. I think slash has cheapened it.
Slang.
I felt quite edgy when I said that, which is why I liked it.
Yeah, you're thinking that's your Guns N' Roses background. You're thinking slash, yeah. Okay, here's the thing. Deferred gratification.
Yes.
That's a thing that you might think's getting less popular than it used to be. In case you're not familiar with the concept, the idea is you do something like, let's say, a degree, and at the end of it you get your reward, and you've worked hard, but then you've got something you can be proud of and something that stretch your brain and get you a job or whatever it does. Okay. There's a thing, isn't there? There's a psychological test they used to do with kids of giving them a biscuit and saying, I'm going to go away for 5 minutes, and if you don't eat that biscuit, I'll give you 2 biscuits. And a lot of kids eat the biscuit, and they turn out to be losers.
Gosh.
I know we're on radio, but I actually did the L on my forehead
Yes, you
with
did.
my finger.
I know you did.
And it's the scientific terminology from the study as well.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, kids.
The other day, I had to carry 2 very large parcels to the post office. 2 big, heavy boxes. Yes, I'm killing for pleasure. I'm not. And as I carried them up the road, I thought, won't it be brilliant when I walk back and I don't have these 2 boxes? As I walked up, I was really looking forward to it. And I delivered them, and I felt, when I came out, my arms were slightly... Do you remember that trick you used to do at school where one kid would sit on a chair? There is an arm one as well. There's an arm one when you press your arm against a wall and then step away and your arm just floats up. It's fabulous.
I never got involved.
It's a kind of magic. Come on, everyone at home. It's a kind of magic.
The people who did that, Frank, were similar to the boys who'd pretend they were snogging someone. I hated those
with the
boys.
arms. You go in the corner and put your arms around your own back. Oh,
As
that's
soon as I saw a boy doing that, I saw a boy called Damien doing that, and he wouldn't stop. And I thought, put me off you for life.
No, I thought that was a great visual effect.
Yeah, very rare to get the kind of sleight of hand or mimery that children can accomplish.
I think it's right up there with pulling off the end of the finger. You know that? I mean, that when I first saw that, I couldn't... What? Now, of course, we take it for granted. But then, in the early days of pulling the end off the finger, we couldn't believe what we were seeing.
What age do people stop doing that? You know, that putting the hands...
Stop? What are you talking about?
It's a good way to open a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Lights up. facing away from the audience.
Oh, what's this on the... Oh! Yeah. There would still be, judging by the way people respond to topical, you could go on stage and say, so we got a king now, and there's still people go, have we?
Yeah.
God, I missed that. So there'd still be people who, when you did the finger, went, whoa!
Oh, there'd be complaints.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they probably would now.
Sign up to an evening of witchcraft.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We were talking about optical illusions, I suppose.
Yes.
And we had you had pulling the finger off. I had pretending to get off with someone.
Yep.
Yeah, what's that? Liam, in case you don't know this one, you turn your back.
They all know.
And then you wrap your hands around yourself and look like you're embracing and kissing someone.
Yes.
My dad would horrify us as children he would put his hands over his nose, and the trick part is you put your thumbnails under
you
your
dislocate
teeth,
your nose.
and you make that horrible cracking sound.
Yeah, so you do that
Oh.
Yeah.
as you click your nose, but it's your fingernail against your teeth, kids, if you want to try it at school Monday.
Yeah. Hot tip.
Oh, what about the one where a kid sits on a chair? I don't know if you should do this now, so you could probably do some sort of neck injury. So don't do it, but I can still tell you about it. We can talk about World War One. It doesn't mean I'm telling you to go out and mustard gas somebody. Okay, so a kid would sit on a chair and about 4 other kids would press down on the top of his head or her head as hard as they could. Usually not her head because you don't want a hair grip through the palm. And then you quickly take your hands off and somebody puts just their index finger under each knee joint and one under each armpit, and you can just lift them into the air like they're a feather.
Wow.
It's true. I've done it and had it done to me many times. I hope someone didn't turn on for that bit. Yeah. Try it. No, don't try it. It's probably bad for your neck. Anyway, it was great. It was walking home without those boxes was just the best thing.
Did you feel liberated?
Oh, man.
Well, what was in these packages? Is that
I couldn't
private
possibly.
information?
We were returning things.
Oh.
Kath sees Amazon as a sort of changing room.
Oh.
So she just buys things randomly and then sends them back. I can't do that.
No.
I need to go and try things on. I can't be sending stuff there and back. What about the planet?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I'll tell you a really bad visual effect. I went to a thing called remember I was in Amsterdam recently? I went to a thing called the Upside Down Museum, and they did this thing of chairs on the ceiling and like lights coming out the floor. Absolute rubbish. I mean,
It's just some floor lighting and some glue.
I was... there was a strange, sinister red glow in the room, and I realised it was the embarrassment of the people. The customers were illuminating.
You were in Amsterdam to
No, I know. But it was even more embarrassing than all that palaver. So, yeah, we got there.
Like someone goes to Amsterdam and describes the red glow.
The red light district is palaver.
All that palaver.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm an old man, Commander. Anyway, there was some brilliant, don't get me wrong, don't let me put you off the Upside Down Museum, but the only thing that's not good about it is the Upside Down element.
I didn't need you to put me off. The name of it put me off.
No, there's some great stuff in it. We went in, and the first thing you do, you go through like a spinning tunnel of light.
Okay.
And me, Kath, and Buzz walked in, and Kath went, "No way," and just turned around and walked back out again. Never actually got into the museum elements.
If you're going to do the Upside Down Museum, I want the guides to be velcroed to the ceiling, enormous swollen heads, terrible headaches.
There
Upside down.
There were
all the
no
way through.
guides. I mean, the word museum is used loosely.
Yeah.
There weren't people in uniform sitting on plastic chairs making sure you didn't damage the art.
From the ceiling.
No. But I did like it. I'll tell you something which was a revelation to me. But I'll tell you after
A
this.
little teaser.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
So yes, now some of you who have followed my life will know
Extraordinary thing to say.
one of the things that's missing from my life is proper swimming. I'm a bit rubbish at swimming. I can't go out of my depth. I didn't learn until 2013. I did a sport relief swimming challenge, which was a length. And it was, I was training like 2.5 hours a day for about 4 or 5 months. I mean, I put in more training than Walliams did for his Thames thing. But anywhere I would up, so it's a thing that's missing from my life, the ability to just get in the water and feel at home. And then when I was at the Upside Down Museum in Amsterdam, for the first time in my life, I realised what I should have been doing. Not frightening, but a very similar experience. The ball pool.
Ah.
You ever tried a ball pool?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Oh, well, they are you can float.
Yeah.
You can sort of swim in them.
That's true.
Hang on. Whoa, hang on. What?
Yeah.
Is a ball pool?
But, you know, a big indentation
Yes.
full of plastic balls.
This is like those moments in a trial where someone has to explain.
Yes.
It's a form of social media, my
Yes.
lord.
Gaza. Who is Gaza?
Who is this Gaza? Who is this Gaza? No, what is this ball pool?
You've heard of a ball? Have you never been to an early learnings?
No.
It's got
As
this.
you know, I forgot to have children.
No,
This
but
is
you know
awkward.
children.
Sometimes you get them. They're sort of built up like a.
This was like a Olympic.
Yeah.
Is there no
Olympic.
water in it?
No.
Oh,
No, there's balls.
those. I know those.
Oh, okay.
I thought you meant there was water
That's
in
it.
it.
You don't need towels.
Yeah.
There's no Veruca brush
No.
on the wine. Do you remember the Veruca brush? Did you have those in South Africa?
No. All the pools are outside.
Oh,
In South
well,
Africa, cold and full of bugs.
Don't get Verucas, the Gen Z and the Millennial.
actually, I once
They've-
showered outside at midnight as the year changed in South Africa.
Ooh.
In a tree house.
Oh.
What about that? This is living.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Frank, you know-
I did the garden route, you see.
Oh yes, the nice bit. Where
I think
I'm
I
not-
was in the Hermanus at the time.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, yes. This is now you're talking about. Well, I'm not from that. I'm not from the bit where people visit.
No.
I'm from the bit where people watch documentaries about.
You don't want to be from the bit where people visit. Although it's probably safer.
Oh, you're from the Netflix bit.
Yes.
I know. I know that bit.
Yes. Any road,
You in the ball pool.
yeah, it's. I thought, as I say, no towels, no Verucas, no drowning.
Yeah.
My favourite element.
Very hard to inhale cricket ball sized
And it
hollow
felt
plastic
great.
balls.
You could just
Is it
lie.
quite germy?
I don't think so.
Okay. I
They're
worry.
non-permeable surfaced balls.
Are they soft, the balls?
I wouldn't go in with a tennis ball pool. I mean, I imagine a lot could live in that felt. Yeah, but it's just now finding a hotel that's got one. Because now I've got used to the big one. I don't want to be in some little.
No, you need the official Olympic sized ball pool.
Can you not have a little portable one? I'm sure you can buy a collapsible one. You could bring it out, carry it around with you.
I'll tell you
Frank.
what I'll do. I'll send a picture of me in the ball pool to our social media, and you'll get the drift. And I look slightly distressed in it. But I'm just acting the goat.
You might be in luck, because a lot of hipstery workplaces have that sort of Google thing where they'll have a ball pool and a slide for employees and things like that. You might actually find a hotel
Do you
somewhere with a
think
ball pool.
absolute?
He doesn't want to be the man hanging around workplaces. Where's your ball
Oh, I
pool?
don't know. No, I wouldn't mind finding another nice big ball pool. I can just do a few
No, but
lengths
do
in.
you know what? You've acquired a lot of dignity later in life, and I want
have.
you to hang on to it.
Okay, I'm seeing me going like a bit like the Marquis of Bath. I'll start wearing a caftan.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Ever changed the filter on a Dreamcatcher? It's about one of the few practical home jobs I can do.
Frank, we've had... our readers have got in touch regarding ball pools,
Oh, okay.
which you've been talking about this morning.
They could change my life.
It took me a while to catch up, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
I'm old.
Yeah. Well, when I went to the Upside Down Museum where the ball pool was, I would say I was the oldest in the queue by about 50 years.
How do they justify having a ball pool in the Upside Down Museum? It should be chaos.
No, the thing is, Upside Down's only one aspect of it. I wish they hadn't even brought it up in the title.
I'll tell you who's got a ball pool in their house. Are you familiar with the heiress Tamara Eccleston?
Oh, Tamara Eccleston,
Yeah.
the daughter of Bernie.
Yes.
Oh.
She's got a ball pool.
Yes, this is. I've been to her old house. Haven't gone to this house, but apparently she has a ball pool.
Oh,
Yeah.
and what kind of dimensions are we talking?
I mean, I didn't get into those details with her. We don't have those kind of conversations.
Because Bernie was a small man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could just fill the average wheelie bin.
So
Bernie would have had a great time. Is Bernie no longer with us, am I right?
I think he might still be with us.
Okay, God bless him for
Yeah.
that.
Frank, would
I have
you...
I have an image. Is this Bernie? He was attending something and the press was there. Some sort of hearing. And he did that fantastic Norman Wisdom thing of going into a revolving door and coming back out onto the street. That will, for all his great achievements in F1...
Also, he has that, what I love, is men of a certain age who favour the Bill Wyman fringe.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, firstly, we have a venue suggested, Bawley Ballersons. In
Oh,
London.
named after...
They're not paying us. Can I just say Bawley Ballerson have not paid us?
No. Well, we didn't know they existed. That
no.
might be one of the reasons.
245.
Do you think they come from the same suggester as Boaty McBoatface?
Yes, it would. Surely, Bawley Ballersons wasn't set up by Sir Andrew Ballerson. Was it?
No, I doubt it.
No.
When I get there, it'll be called the David Attenborough Ball Pool.
Then we have this from 813. On a childhood holiday in the late 70s, I remember my panic-stricken mother taking me to A&E. Don't worry, it's a nice story.
No, I trust your judgment.
As she discovered hundreds of circular bruises on my legs and believed me to have acquired some ghastly condition on the holiday.
Or he could have been copping.
Oh, I don't think we had cupping then.
No.
It turned out it was the results of me having spent the past 4 or 5 days continually leaping into the ball pool at Peabody's Play Place in Blackpool's Winter Gardens, an activity that was a totally new concept to us at the time. That's from Andy Wood, Bronte Country, West Yorkshire, one of our regulars.
I think he could take over from swimming.
Do you
But
think?
I imagine
I'd love to see
Peabody's...
Tom Daly coming down into a ball pool.
Do you think that it would change the physique of swimmers? Because in order
Yes.
to avoid impact like Andy had, you'd need to have a bit of padding.
They'd
But
need a
then
little
you'd
bit of
get
junk in
those-
the trunk.
You'd
Yeah.
get those big blokes who work in finance who would have to do like He-Man diving. It'd be billiard balls. They'd have to be diving into that to
Well, I
prove that
think
they were
it should
still
go
male.
up progressively as the event continued. So you can start with your softballs.
Yeah,
But by the end, we're going croquet.
yeah. I'm starting with those bath balls that explode into. So I like the idea of arriving in a dust cloud. Smells great though. Oh, it's like lush.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Would you like to hear from some of our readers?
Of course.
Okay. I mean, there's no easy way of saying this, but Simon of Sudbury, who, as you know, is one of our regulars.
Yeah, the medieval writer.
Yeah. He does say he took his son to a ball pit many years ago. I don't like ball pit.
I'm not sure about pit.
No. It should be pool.
Yeah. Oh, well, unless it was like there was dog fighting going on under the ballage.
But he was at Sudbury if I may call him that,
Yeah.
was saying, just, in reference to my concern, Frank, about the hygiene issues. He did see a lot of... there was a sort of sticky, and it just seemed a bit...
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't
There was
go
a bit of a
down
mess
to
at
the
the
actual...
bottom.
I didn't go down to the sea bed, as it were. Davy Jones' locker. I didn't go down that deep. I was there to float, not to dive.
Okay.
Yeah. I suppose that's why Bally Ballison is adults only.
Can I ask a question, Frank?
Yeah. Oh, it is adults only. Oh, that's excellent.
Excuse me, Frank.
What about that for a works outing?
No, absolutely not.
No,
I'm not getting in a ball pool with you two.
you don't have
men.
to wear your swimmers. You can just get in your everyday clothes.
I cannot think of anything worse.
Well,
I have so
you can't
much,
think of anything worse than that.
I have so much respect for you both.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't want to see you in that environment.
No, but we're all being
Very
it together.
undignified. And I don't mind you doing it. And I felt quite a lot of pathos when I saw that photograph of you. I liked it. I just don't want to be a party to it.
It would be like a like a Rod, Jane and Freddie sketch on Rainbow. You can wear yellow dongas. It'd be great.
Can I ask a question?
Does Simon of Sudbury, is his ringtone SOS by ABBA?
I'm
Do you
sure he'll
think?
tell us.
It should be, shouldn't it?
It's got to be.
Can I ask a question, Frank? What is the etiquette in the ball pool? When you're sort of passing someone or you bump into them, or do you talk to people? Is it like, if you're in a swimming pool on holiday and you're all bobbing around, you might sort of exchange words. Do you talk to the people?
Well, the thing is, it's less... you're less self-conscious because you're fully dressed.
No.
So that makes you more confident.
Yes.
But I didn't really speak to them. I think they might have been Dutch, and
Okay.
I don't want to buy any drugs. But it was, oh God, it was lovely in there.
We got another update. Bally Ballison serves excellent stone-baked pizza to add to the fun. Who are our listeners?
Yeah,
I tell you,
they are. By the
Mr.
sound of it, Bally
I
Ballison.
think Sir Andrew Ballison's got his phone.
Yeah,
and he's
I
texted.
Is that
don't
from B.
believe it.
Ballison, Esquire?
Yeah, I'm getting Ballison ache. I've heard it so much.
Oh my God! You ask why I'm not going to that with you.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've been talking this morning about ball pools, which you're, turns out, a huge fan of.
Well, I had a revelation in Amsterdam.
It happens.
Yes.
And not normally under those
No,
circumstances.
exactly.
And I haven't. You've also, just to recap, you've suggested that we take a works outing. To
I
a
think
ball
that would be
pool.
nice.
Yeah.
And I've put that in the file marked pending.
Okay.
Would you be willing to broadcast from a ball pit? live from the ball pit?
Yeah, what about that?
Sort of clicking and clacking
Absolute
of balls.
Could be cool.
Oh, for
Special station.
God's
Yeah,
sake.
just for the day.
Oh.
Like when they did, was it Frank 60 or something? For me, that I had my own station for a whole day.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Pierre?
I did not know that.
Well, remember that. Next time you think I'm a loser.
No, you didn't take the biscuit. You
I don't
waited
think
for
that's
2
the hard
biscuits.
No, I
sell you
did.
quite think it is.
I didn't take the biscuit for about 30 years.
Okay. Ruth Jordan, one of our regulars,
Of course.
has been in touch. Imagine being a lifeguard at one of those pools.
Oh, yeah.
Presumably they'd be equipped with vacuums, and if there was a potential drowning incident, they'd just vacuum the balls out of the pool rather than having to haul the person out.
And would a vacuum take up the balls? I'm not sure.
Pierre
about
Novelli
that.
would know.
Oh, you'd have to be like one of those swimming pool vacuum pumps, It would have to.
What would you
I might have to
use?
leap in with a snooker cue.
If you
No, I think you...
Trying to save them from drowning, like a really rapid fire, powering the balls
Wouldn't
at
you
them.
need one of those... What are those Smurf... You'd need something to...
a domestic vacuum, you'd get one ball out at a time, like a sort of artisanal rescue.
Yeah, it'd be too late.
I'll tell you what you'd need.
Just chuck
Fishing
a,
net.
Just chuck a San Bernard in there. You know, they used to have those St. Bernards would rescue people on mountains. Shot one of them in.
How do you
I've
think?
never seen a dog in a ball pond.
I was just going to say, I can change all that.
Yeah, and I don't think you should put your dog in.
Why?
It's a bit small. Go straight into the silt.
You'd have to,
Yeah.
you'd have to build a sort of balcony, like those sort of widows' walks in.
What is a widow's walk?
It's a sort of balcony built onto the front of a sea-facing home.
Oh,
In the sort of New England, and they sort of walk pace there,
that
waiting for their
right?
sailor husbands to come back from
I've
the sea.
never heard of that. I
that's called a
love
widow's
that.
walk,
A
yeah.
widow's walk. Fantastic.
Oh, I really like that.
So Emily would be up and down on that looking into the ball.
Into the ball.
I'd be on the widow's
yeah,
walk.
Waiting for Raymond.
You could leave the lead on it, no?
Of course.
That's
Lead.
My
the
dog,
secret.
I would see him floating above it. He'd be carried like
Yeah,
on an
maybe.
emperor's chair.
He's light.
He's
He
lovely
could
and light.
skitter on the surface.
Yeah,
maybe.
Then
so
we
light.
would have to have it all clean then.
You'd lose your deposit at Borlison's.
Exactly.
I mean, that really is loser territory, isn't it?
I don't want to be blackballisoned. God, we're giving them some plug-in today.
Oh, yeah.
Never even heard of them but an hour ago.
Exactly.
Is life strange?
You want a free session. We spoke last week, I believe, about not just celebrity memorabilia, but the celebrity memorabilia that our parents would have had or had.
Yeah, well, my mum had Noel Gordon on one corner of the Mirror,
Yes.
the star of Crossroads and TV presenter. And Ginger Baker, the drummer from Cream, a signed pound note that my dad had got. My dad worked at Land Rover, and he'd gone in to check out a new car and got Ginger to sign a pound.
Nice.
They were both Gingers, actually,
Yeah.
come to think of it.
This is where the levels of ginger support seen at the Guillermo del Toro experience have come from.
Oh, you said
Exactly.
that beautifully,
He
Yeah,
did,
well,
did say it well.
didn't he?
But as a massive Goons nerd myself, I'm very taken with Clive saying that his parents had a photo of themselves with the Goons from the Goon Show at a club in Coventry when they were all very young.
Oh.
I can't imagine going into a nightclub and seeing Peter Sellers, Harry Seacombe, and Spike
Well, yeah, they
Milligan.
did all. You're a Goons nerd.
Yeah,
I
I love
never
the
knew
Goons.
that.
It's one
Do
of
you
the
know
least
that-
sociable things about me.
Do you know the story about their tour is that they stayed at some theatrical digs and they used to get they had a bottle of sherry which someone had given them, and the landlady was having a drink out of it, a bit going every day. So they started, how can I put it, urinating into the sherry as a punishment. And at the end of the week, when they left, they said to her, "So, did you enjoy the sherry?" She said, "Oh, I don't drink. I've been putting it in your trifle."
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Frank, Hayley Fairy has been in touch. We did the chair levitation trick in the 90s. You know, the one you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
We never put our hands on their head. We would try. I'm more familiar with Hayley's version.
Okay.
It sounds less cruel. We would try to lift first, no luck.
Yeah.
Then each put our hands floating above their head, chanting something like, light as a feather, light as a feather.
Oh no, this is.
Then-
Were they on a commune?
Sounds like witchcraft.
What's she called again? Hayley Fairy. It's all making sense now, isn't it?
Then we would try again and succeed.
Highly suspicious. That's what I call her.
That's some people's real accent. Alien suspicious.
A judge's accent.
I thought the pressure on the head was essential, just like
That's what the bullies told you.
The pressing on the arm against the wall. I thought it was the same
But
principle.
that's how the bullies get you.
I went to see a cranial osteopath. I had a bad wrist, and he was one of these. He was like the mother of Dumbo, Mombo Jumbo. And
Had that for a while.
he,
I've never heard that.
she was called Mrs. Jumbo. His mum,
he's
as
Dumbo
a sign,
Jumbo.
and he's Dumbo, so he must have been Dumbo Jumbo. But this bloke
I tell you what it was, the sort of thing Grandad knows fools and horses would say, what are you coming out with like mumbo jumbo for?
Anyway, this bloke on my wrist on the floor, and he held his hand above it and said, "Can you feel heat? Can you feel heat?" And I was going, "No, I can't." I had 2 sessions, nothing happened at all. And then I went to see an old-fashioned physiotherapist who smelt of embrocation. Went in and she said, "You've got, what are they called? Galleon or something." It's just like a cyst.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like a I was going to say scallion,
That's
but that's
an onion.
I know, don't mention onions. You know.
Anyway, it's something like that. And it was, she said, "Eat it with the Bible."
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. And that's what people used to do with them. And they just burst the cyst.
Was she wearing an enormous leather beak
No.
filled with herbs and spices?
She wasn't. But I went to see...
Apothecary.
I went to see a doctor who was going to drain it for me. Sorry about this,
This
guys.
is
if you're
really
having your
horrible,
breakfast.
Frank.
But anyway,
Talking about
it's a
bursting.
happy ending. I said to the doctor, I said, "Can you believe in the
What a happy
21st
ending.
century that I went with this thing in my arm?" I said, "I saw somebody practice mumbo jumbo on it." And then I saw a fully trained physiotherapist who told me to hit it with a Bible. And he said, "No, that's wrong. That is wrong in the modern age. She should have said that you hit it with a large book from any of the world's religions." Oh, dear.
Just quickly, in terms of evacuating the ball pool,
Yes.
774.
Are you talking about my cyst?
Yes. Yeah, speaking of evacuating the ball pool, 774
What a
gets in touch just with use a roadside gully sucker.
Oh.
As if we're stupid for having
Yeah, what?
a roadside gully
Simple,
sucker.
really.
Of course.
I might
don't know
use
what
that. If
that
someone
is.
says, "What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given in your life?" Next time you're interviewed for The Guardian or something, I want you to say that. Use
I
a
think
roadside
he's
gully
talking
sucker.
about where we should tip the discarded balls, and he's saying use a roadside gully sucker. There's a comma. Is there a comma in there anyway?
It's implied, maybe.
Okay. No, I don't know what a gully sucker is, but I bet we're going to find out.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I don't want this to turn into the Ruth Jordan show. I mean, I do in a way, because she's rather fabulous. But Ruth has come to your aid. Ganglion is the thing on your
Ganglion.
wrist.
Thank you, Ruth.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Ganglion.
Yes, I had a ganglion. That's what I had.
Regarding my goons obsession, which
Well, are you what they call a goonglion?
I'm a goonglion. Yes. I need to be hit with the Bible or I'll
What are
get out
goon
of
fans
control.
called,
All the
Frank?
times we've sat in vans and dressing rooms and looked at
I would've-
Anglo-Saxon artifacts, you've never mentioned the goons.
I don't know. I swore it would have come up, but yeah, it is odd. Full credit to Port Erin Library on the Isle of Man for introducing me to Goon Show cassettes in the late 90s.
Fabulous. In case you don't know, by the way, most of you will, the Goons was a comedy, what would we call them, a quartet,
I suppose so.
who were on radio in the 50s.
Yeah, mid to late 50s.
Spike Milligan, Peter Sellers, Michael Bentine, Harry Seacombe. They were, I believe, the King is a tremendous fan.
I was going to say
Yes.
King Charles is probably the most famous fan.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the president
I
of the
bet
Goon Show
Diana
Society.
loved lying in bed listening to his Goon tapes.
And impressions.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
386 gets in touch and says that I'm regarding the Goons, I'm a man after his own heart. My mate at work, Phil, and I last night had a conversation at work in our best Eccles and Blue Bottle voices, much to the bemusement of our colleagues, John from Cambridge. And that is a bemusement that I am very familiar with from trying to introduce other 7 and 8-year-olds to the Goon Show.
No, I can see why that might have been difficult.
And a real uphill battle.
See, I think the Goons was a response to the horrors of World War II.
Yes.
That you respond with just madness.
And whimsy. Yeah. We've got
Hello.
Ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying tong, ying
Okay.
tong, ying like Paul. Okay.
Frank, I slightly lost it, and I hope I didn't distract you, because Paul Eaton has sent us an image, which he's doctored.
Okay.
It's your...
I've just seen it.
I'm sorry. I appreciate this is like when someone's laughing out loud whilst reading a book on the tube.
Yes.
Going, ha, ha, ha. Paul Eaton has sent an image of you in the ball pool with your hand aloft.
Yeah. I just posted a picture of me in the Dutch ball pool.
And if there was a musical accompaniment...
Well, you can't use the terminology on breakfast radio.
For God's sake. I'm definitely not getting in that ball pool with you two. Your ribald anecdotes.
I'm a man could lose a clog.
If you two want to stay in this ball pool exchanging ribald anecdotes, Paul Eaton has sent this image, and it's you in your sort of hello with your hand aloft in the ball pool. And he superimposed a shark.
Another plus of ball pools you don't get, and predators.
Did you? Can we share that image?
Yes, you might do. But I mean, not.
You haven't been in there with me.
No.
Give it a retweet, shall we?
Did either of you ever worry about... Because Greg Davis said he suffered from this. I thought it was just me. Did you suffer a phobia, Frank, of getting in the pool and thinking a shark would come out?
In a swimming pool?
Yeah.
No, I was just so frightened of the water. I was once asked to do Celebrity Shark Cage, a TV show, and I said I think I'll be the only person on it who's not mainly worried about the shark. So now this is why, if it was Celebrity Shark Ball Pool, I'd be less worried. But I think they might perish if they were in the air.
Yeah.
Still, if you're going to make an omelette...
Iona Faz shares my phobia of sharks in pools. I mean, I call it a phobia because it is irrational, but I think it was because I saw the James Bond film where he pressed a button.
Oh, yes.
And so, Mr. Bond, and the sharks came out. Do you remember that one?
Was that the origin point of the fear?
Yes, that and growing up in Australia.
Of course.
But they didn't come into pools in Australia.
No, but given that we lived on the beach and the first night I was there was a shark alarm went off.
Shark alarm?
Yes. You're not familiar
name.
with the shark alarm?
No, what does that sound like?
Shark in Iona Faz shares it. Shark in pool fear. I've got a phobia of dolphins and a fear of whales. When I'm in a pool, I feel like a huge whale is behind me. Well, I don't know where you are.
Yeah.
With its mouth open.
I think they mainly focus on plankton, don't they?
Or a dolphin is about to grab my ankles and pull me down. But I don't mind sharks.
Oh.
It's an interesting...
I'm a fan of sharks.
It's sort of redefining the general impression of the dolphin as a friend of mankind. Yes. To sort of the enemy within. Swimming with dolphins. Oh, I love swimming.
Can I tell you what I really think of dolphins? I find, to use an expression my mother was fond of, I find them a little bit showy.
Yes, I saw some sing Happy Birthday once at some sort of show. But if you put over the top of that, it does sound like they're singing. Looking back, it was very cruel.
They are show-offs.
The clowns of the sea.
Are they show-offs,
No,
or
they love
are
the
they
attention.
made to be show-offs?
Are you some sort of dolphin apologist?
Well, looking back on that, I can't believe they were thinking, oh, God, I'm looking forward to a happy birthday. Aren't you, Derek?
It's not even according to their calendar.
They are. I've had a lovely experience with them. I have swum with them.
Have you?
And they're charming. Charming creatures.
And you weren't dragged down by a rogue dolphin?
No. There was a man ensuring that didn't happen, to be fair. May I return us to the subject of celebrity memorabilia? We're talking specifically about parental celebrity memorabilia.
Yes, exactly.
Bill Morrison has got in touch. My mother once owned a pair of trousers worn by Shirley Temple in the movie The Little Colonel. They were.
Oh, I'm picturing a side stripe.
They were Quality Street, Frank. Are you picturing a Quality Street? They were purchased at a charity auction and sent to Scotland for the buyer's granddaughter or niece or something, but they were too small for her. Her mother knew someone who knew someone else, etc., who knew that my grandmother had a daughter of the right age, so they came to my mum. Trousers for girls being such a rarity at that time, she ended up wearing them until they fell apart.
Yeah, did it occur to anyone that if you buy a pair of Shirley Temple's trousers in auction, they're not really for wearing?
No.
They're more for display purposes.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't get a novelty silver dollar for the vending machine.
Not we'll send her to our little niece, she'll get plenty of wear out of it.
I wouldn't wear... I was once bought, as you know, from a celebrity auction earrings belonging to Linda Blair, the star of
from
The Exorcist.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure you can't imagine which friend of mine would have got me a slightly extravagant, eccentric present like that.
Well, I probably can.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Was he a well-known chat show host?
he was.
Okay.
And I've still got them. And, you know, I like to look at them. I don't think... I've worn them once. I wore them to one comedy awards. But I wouldn't wear them again.
I interviewed Alice Cooper once, and he went to see The Exorcist, a sort of and
other things that don't surprise me.
Showing years later, and he went with Linda Blair. And Alice and Linda Blair turned around to the man behind, telling him to stop talking. Imagine that.
Terror.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Regarding Bill saying trousers being such a rarity at the time,
He meant in Scotland, did he?
I think he meant for women.
No, Bill was saying
yeah.
ladies didn't wear trousers.
I thought it was a kilt
A kilt reference, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a neighbour on the Isle of Man who was a very sort of proper, old-fashioned woman of great breeding who was said to my mother, we were invited to a sort of neighbour, you invite your neighbours around for tea or something, and we sort of went, oh, okay. And we were told that the dress code for women was skirts, and this was followed up with the only place a woman should wear trousers was the riverbank. my parents went, oh,
I love a life hack.
yeah.
Oh, it's like Moley in Wind in the Willows.
Yeah. Were there any women in Wind in the Willows?
Did Toad of Toad Hall have a Mrs. Toad? He was a bachelor boy.
I think it was a very no Mrs. Toad will let him indulge himself buying vintage cars and
He was a bit of a Gatsby figure, wasn't he, Toad?
He was profoundly lonely.
Was he? But you know what? I think he was profoundly lonely, but he was lovely and wealthy.
He was, yeah. Well, that's why he had those two hangers on. They were like the Memphis Mafia.
for Toad's Elvis.
Yeah, exactly. He was, wasn't he? Yeah. Toad Hall is essentially Graceland.
Yeah.
And then he's got all their vehicles, outside, and then these hangers on.
Do you think there was a bit where Toad of Toad Hall unloads a musket at a gramophone?
Yeah.
This is the equivalent of shooting a television from Elvis.
A Toad ought to have a jumpsuit, surely.
Oh, he will. He might have done his karate.
You could say a Toad skin was a jumpsuit.
Did Frank... Who were the hangers-on? Was it Badger and
I don't know. I never read children's books.
Oh, Ratty. Why would you want to be friends with Ratty?
Ratty and Moley.
Someone sent me a book called My Favourite Book, and it was about various celebrities talking about their favourite books, and a lot of them chose Wind in the Willows. And, of course, every time I thought, haven't read a book since. Haven't read a book since. Haven't read a book since. I mean, come on.
I like the idea of Elvis saying poop poop as he drives his cars around winding.
Is that what... I haven't read
Toad
it.
says poop
Have
poop
you
and
not?
honks the horn.
He basically drives around in a sort of very flashy car.
Very dangerously.
Yeah, very dangerous character. He's essentially... He's the original bad boy. He's a Flash Harry. Mm-hmm. He's not your type.
No.
Can we just can I quickly...
Although I do like Elvis, if we're going to equate the two.
Yeah.
What if Baz Luhrmann does a big Toad of Toad Hall thing?
Also, Toad, tell everyone where you live, for pity's sake.
What do you think,
discretion.
Badger? Well, I don't know what's going on with him.
Toad, please drive too fast.
We are both
I
loners.
always
We
knew.
just have each other, Toad.
When I first met Toad, I always knew. May I share this with you briefly?
Well, I don't know. The producer's going absolutely
Okay.
ballistic about timing.
Okay, well, that's because she's a Toad of Toad Hall fan.
Is that
She's
right?
devastated.
Oh, yes.
We're treading on her dreams.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
We're talking about all sorts this morning.
Is Bertie Bassett our studio guest?
No.
Okay.
You know I'm not a fan.
No.
I find him quite vulgar.
Yes, well,
He's a bit, as I said of dolphins earlier, he's a bit showy.
yeah, he's got the look of the
He's a bit Toad Hall.
those sort of you know those Jamie Blandford, was he called? Those
Yes.
sort of aristocrats who've gone into bad company.
Yes. Yes.
He's an aristocrat who broke bad.
Okay.
He's got that about him. So we've heard from Michael of Sussex.
Okay.
Whether that's
It's got-
a
That's a
self-styled...
lot of medieval scribes getting in touch today.
It's these self-styled medieval types.
Yeah,
It's because of the talk joke.
yeah, could have drawn them in.
We're very big in medieval Britain.
Fabulous.
Michael of Sussex has been in touch. Hello, Frank et al. Read Baywatch at the ball pool.
Oh yeah. Baywatch at the ball pool. I know. Yeah.
Could you throw in a plastic ring, the sort you find alongside lakes, etc., or would the ball and ring combination increase the chance of a fatality? That's from Michael of Sussex. Why he thinks you know the answer.
I don't know if a
Heaven
ring
knows.
would raise you up above plastic balls.
No. I don't know if the ring could ever replace the roadside galley sucker.
I kind of think so. No
other
contest.
And other things brides have never said. Frank, may I share this with you?
That'd be a lovely line on a greetings card.
You'll never replace.
May I share this with you from Reggie?
Yeah, do.
We're talking, I'm going to return us to the
Is
subject.
it? I'll bring a shooter if we don't get the money on Friday.
Yeah.
Extraordinary road we've travelled down. On the subject of parental celebrity memorabilia,
Oh yes.
which I'm exempt from, my dad has the autographs of, wait for it, the Baron Knights. And then Reggie goes on, I'm sure you can remember them, Frank.
I can remember them. I can remember many Baron Knights in my life.
Do we want to...
Let me explain. The Baron Knights were parodists.
Oh.
So what they would do is parodies of popular songs before the copyright rules were really tightened up. They come from the same school as Bad Disney, drawn on fairground rides, and they would do things like the Rolling Stones, for example, would. I want to be your lover, baby. I want to be your... It's a Beatles song, but they covered it. And then there was one about bringing... They did they would do a collection of songs in one single, Baron Knights.
And their style was, Frank, how would you give us an idea
Well,
of the
I'll
style?
give you a par example, because they did a song about if national service was reintroduced, how would the groups cope? So, don't want to join the Royal Navy, don't want to go to Hong Kong, don't want to get my hair cut, baby, I want to keep it long. And it was all stuff
Okay.
like that.
So this is a kind of thematic...
So it would begin with, the pictures at an exhibition has pieces of music with a continuing theme in between them. It would begin with them saying, "If the groups had to go back to work, what would the Rolling Stones do?" And then it'd go into a bit of a thing. And they had several massive hits.
Well, Reggie continues. The autograph was on a page ripped out of an old magazine in the waiting area of a barber's, obtained whilst my dad was waiting in the said barber's in Weston-super-Mare, and all three of them were having their hair cut there. And this...
Including Peanut. I remember one was called Peanut.
Of course there was. There was always one called Peanut.
Because now he wouldn't get into a lot of schools.
Really?
Yeah, dangerous.
What about this? This is quite a PS, I have to say, from Reggie. He also has the autograph of Val Doonican on a boarding pass as they once sat next to each other on a flight. He still treasures them both. That's from Reggie.
Fabulous. See, people keep them for years.
I love it.
Oh, Val.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Now, I'm going to share something with you.
Okay, as long as it's not a hypodermic syringe needle,
No.
that'll be all right.
They're expensive. Ginger P has...
Yeah, well, are you getting enough calcium?
Thanks for the tip. has been in touch. Brace yourselves. Ginger P is a parent, like yourself, Frank. And I remember, Ginger says, finding... How can I put this? What should we call it, Pierre?
A leaving.
A comfort break of the second variety
Okay.
in the ball pit
Oh, no.
while trying to extract my child.
Oh,
Ginger
no.
P. I mean, it's all getting a bit awkward. Ginger P found
Yes.
a comfort break.
I think we can say poo.
Can we say it?
Yeah.
I thought I'd let our esteemed leader make that choice.
Poo in the...
Ginger P found a poo
spoil
in the ball pit.
everything. Oh, no. You don't. You want the balls to remain separated.
Ginger P does
It'll be
actually...
like some sort of DNA diagram.
We once did a text-in, which was, what would you rather find in a swimming pool, you may recall?
It was a dead body or a poo. Which would you rather... If you had to swim with one of them.
I had to swim with one of them.
Yeah, if you had to find one in the pool, most people said...
Most people went corpse.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding. But this is a trick question, because often the latter is within the former.
I know, but it's enclosed. It's like those...
We're having a fantasy scenario. I mean, I say
we
fantasy.
didn't go into it. Was breakfast radio. We didn't. There was no post-mortem.
I return you to the question then, what would you rather find in the ball pit?
But no, that I don't want to hear that, because I'm new to ball pits.
Yeah.
I have the zeal of the convert.
They're very hard to draw a chalk outline around the body in a ball pit.
Yeah.
They'd rotate as you scrape.
thing about
that'd
the
be
ball
impossible.
pit-
It's a great place to kill.
Yeah.
The thing that they should use that as a quote.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that'd be lovely. 5 stars, great place to kill.
Bally
Frank Skinner.
Bollisons are regretting their engagement with us.
Bally Bollison will be asking their money back.
No more walks to the pigsty. You can just put them in the ball pool.
Imagine if we go to Bally Bollisons and it says literally up, there's like a newsprint with 5 stars. Great place to kill.
Not so much to kill, but to dispose of the evidence.
I think that's what concerns me, is the what lies beneath element of Bally Bollison or any other ball pit.
I wonder how often people go to the bottom of the ball pit to see what's down there. There's probably things, coins and
Treasures of the
jewellery,
deep.
I was going to say,
wallets.
I suspect mischievous youths, what would have once been called hooligans
Yeah.
when I was growing up. Oh, yobs.
Yobbos.
Yobbo.
Yeah, scallies.
Yeah.
It was quite Grange Hill janitor that. Oi, clear off, you yobbos.
Yes.
I suspect the yobbos, if I was a yobbo, I'd be staking out the ball pit. You're absolutely right, Frank. It's
I bet there is. I bet there's money in there.
Treasure.
Money galore.
in some sense.
Remember Money galore from
Check
Golfing.
the filter on the gully sucker.
Yeah, that's
watches
true.
and rings.
Do we know what that is
Yes,
yet? Oh,
I-
we've
Oh,
got.
do you know? I don't want to know.
Oh, I want to know.
Okay.
It's you
So I'm
will
going to buy one. I'm buying a house with a ball pool, and
and then someone will come around and put a hand on their hips and say, "Oh, they talked you into the gully sucker, do they?"
do you pull a cover across a ball pool at night like a swimming pool?
What about when
Keep
the
it warm.
foxes get in? Oh, and what about when the foxes get into the ball pool, living it up like millionaires?
But the net, that long net on the pole they're using, that'd be handy in the ball pool.
Yeah.
Well, it's from what Ginger P says, it sounds mandatory.
I think in my most Elvis, I would have been in the ball pool and had several goldfish bowls around it and then thrown the balls into those like on the fair. So what is a gully soccer?
You will have seen them without realising. They walk among us, the gully suckers.
Oh.
There's big sort of van truck things with a big hose pipe coming out the back that you'll see.
God, I thought they were elephants. I really must change my prescription.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, David Ivor Price has been in touch.
Well, we all do.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with admitting it.
No, let's face it, that's just life.
Yeah. Whilst working at my local golf course, Alice Cooper was playing.
He's a massive golf enthusiast.
Do you know, I never would have known that. I'd like to see Alice in all the gear.
Yeah, I don't know if he played in the old Black Eyes. I think he.
Does he go? No, but that's what I was going to say. Does he wear the eyeliner for the course?
I don't think so.
Does he put his hair in a scrunchie?
He might do for a charity day.
All his clubs are in a big coffin.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like it if he gave it a goth theme, though.
Yeah, it's not very. It's one of the least goth activities, I would say, golf.
Even if you got the balls and painted them to be like little skulls.
Yeah.
Maybe you could
not
have
enough.
one of those Burlington, tank tops with the Argyle print or something, with the but just in a black and white.
Yeah, he's even in his in his glory days, he was still an obsessive golfer.
Interesting. Well, David Ivor Price continues. Desperate for his autograph and nothing suitable to hand, I got him to sign my lunchbox lid. The Tupperware lid now has pride of place amongst my metal music collection. He'd be a nice friend for you, Frank.
Yeah.
Don't you think that you like to collect things? And
Yeah.
you like funny things?
I do a Tupperware impression.
Yeah.
Lid coming off Tupperware box.
I think that's ASMR.
Do you know
What's
what
that?
It's that thing that trend on sort of YouTube where people
We
will watch
told
long
you about
videos of
that.
people playing with sort of brushes and
Oh,
Do you not know
delicate
ASMR?
sounds.
Your son will be getting into that. All the young people love
What
it.
is it? I never heard of it. ASMR, and it's people playing with brushes.
little things that create tiny delicate sounds because
Oh,
they get
really?
the tingles when they listen to
So,
the tiny sound.
This is what will happen. Young people will, they don't phone each other, do they? Unless
No.
there's been a bereavement of some sort. But they will say, "Oh, come round." They'll WhatsApp each other and come round for an ASMR evening. Like, I've heard them
listen
say
to-
we're doing ASMR tonight,
Really?
and they do like nails. They'll go nails tapping on each other's backs or something. Or it's all clean above board.
Strangest thing I've ever heard.
There are sort of ASMR celebrities who are famously good at
Little noises.
whispering and
Really?
Do some ASMR whispering. Show Frank what you might do.
I hate ASMR.
So
I
it'd be
refuse
something
to
like this.
participate.
They'd be tapping, going, David Ivor Price, David Ivor Price,
Okay.
over and over
And people
again.
like that.
They love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like dogs' nails on linoleum.
Well, that's
or a
fortunate growing up
floorboard.
in your decade.
Floorboards or nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like that.
Do you trim your dog's nails, Poppy's
I
nails?
don't.
Oh.
She is groomed on a regular basis. When we first had her, we let them grow, and it was when we found her on the ceiling, we realised they were too long. They were operated like crampons, so now we get them cut on a regular basis.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've received this from Christian Dawson.
I thought he was going to say Christian Dior.
No,
Okay,
no longer with us,
no.
I'm afraid. Christian Dawson has sent in, again, it's sort of visual content, but I think it can be easily explained.
Okay.
It's a photograph Christian Dawson has taken. Sorry, I sound like the prosecution lawyer here.
Yeah.
But it is of a service station and as Christian says, it's a service station near York.
Okay.
And on the roof, Christian says there is no explanation offered for the installation of Daleks and a Cyberman at this service station near York. It is one of those service stations, my very worst kind. It looks like the type that comes, you have to navigate a series of roundabouts, you know, and it's sort of a mini village. I hate those ones.
Okay.
And you can find yourself trapped among the trucks.
Oh, yeah, if you go in the wrong one, that's
What
terrible.
about when you go in the lorry lane? And I've ended up in Bay. I've ended up going into strange worlds where there's a load of men sleeping in articulated lorries.
Yeah.
I got the hell out.
Yeah.
Trust me. So there is a photograph, Frank, which Christian has enclosed of, you know, the usual stuff you get, your coffee shops, your fast food places, your arcades, and 2 Daleks and a Cyberman on the roof. Giant, life-sized Daleks and a Cyberman.
In a sort of sentinel-like stance.
It's like they're guarding the service station. Why on earth? Can you explain, does York have any relevance? Why are they up there?
If it does, I don't know.
Okay.
Was there any quarries there?
I don't
A lot
know.
of early Doctor Who was filmed in quarries. No, not with the Daleks, because this was the day when they
I've
couldn't
seen
operate.
one episode where they were in a quarry.
There was lots of.
there.
There's a regular quiz question at my. You know, when I go to the BFI Doctor Who days, they will often ask which quarry was featured in this show. That's a sort of typical thing.
Oh,
People
wow.
know all the names of the actual
Sorry,
quarries.
I didn't.
Gosh.
Sorry, do you do quizzes there?
There's a quiz so you can win. You
didn't know that.
You can win merch. Really hard questions.
How
though.
does it work, the quiz? Do you get given paper, or they don't do computers there, do they? I mean, they have to. They don't.
What happens is Justin asks questions, and Dick Fiddy will then race into the audience and present them with a microphone. And if they got the right answer, then he'll give them their prize.
So how would it be, for example, Frank? So Justin, what sort of question would Justin ask? Do you like that I'm attempting very reasonable
Yes.
voice?
What would be a typical question?
So you're in the audience, and then I look up. Justin comes on. What does Justin say?
It might be why was Sharda not broadcast?
And then do you hear, how do the Doctor Who people get chosen?
And then someone will put their hand up and say there was industrial action at the BBC. And
There'll be a rustle of Max.
and they'll say, well done, you've won a
What do they win?
Funko Pop of Colin Baker. And that's it, that's very
Pretty good.
Can I ask another question?
Tough crowd.
Can I ask a question? Do you pay to go to this?
Some do.
But is it a chargeable event?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a brilliant day out.
Okay.
You may mock.
I mock it from a place of affection, as you well know.
Okay.
Okay?
It's actually lovely.
And I'm sure it is. I'm just intrigued by your other world.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Well, there's been much excitement in the studio. We've all been at the window. We're on the, what is it, second floor here? Third floor.
Yeah.
And they're filming outside. Always exciting. I know I've done a lot of filming in my time. It doesn't make any difference. Like when I find a £10 note in my breast pocket that I didn't know was there. Still utterly thrilling.
Well, you get very excited if anyone you know is on TV for a second.
Or any place, the
Yeah.
local chemist shop. Anyway, Ronan Keating is on a motorbike and sidecar outside, careering around Golden Square with Pixie Lott in the sidecar.
The sidecar.
And they're being filmed, crucially.
Yes, and he's going round faster and faster, I think. I think he's
they
putting.
look
I hope he's not
fabulous.
putting her in. I don't want him to lose the P lot, as it were.
Well, I've come over a bit peculiar.
Have you?
Oh, he looks fabulous.
No, he's a handsome
Oh,
man.
is he ever? And she looks, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
lots.
too much glamour for our little shit.
But it was,
No offence, guys.
We were very excited just to watch two celebrities go round and round on a motorbike and sidecar.
Yes, it was like a sort of travelling fair.
It was.
Yeah.
If they go fast enough, they'll be sort of on the walls, like those sort of
Wall
mesh
of Death.
cages.
And
Wall
then,
of Death.
I said
John
to
Pertwee
Frank,
and the lion.
And the
Yeah.
gummy lion.
I said to Frank,
I'm just a gummy lion. I'll have to play it now. Oh, guess what? Me jingles
Yeah.
isn't turned up.
oh dear. Well, I
One
said
job.
to Frank,
One job.
I was a bit worried about the filming, Frank, because what if they were doing GVs, which are the sort of general views for the show, and we were in the
That's
background.
what GV stand for.
Why did you not?
I've had that said to me 1,000 times. We're doing some GVs. I've just never asked.
She's gone very good.
And I'm a big one of asking, unless I'm not interested.
Anyway, we were standing at the window and I was worried. I said, what if we're like fangirls and boys at the window? And you said, I hope we are.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah. Noses pressed against the glass.
Yeah, like ghosts at a Victorian window. Or remember that shot of the Queen in the Paddington book looking from a window at Buckingham Palace?
Frank,
Yeah.
this news just in. Wonderful Richard Brasnett has solved the mystery of the Dalek and Cyberman service station.
Okay.
The petrol station in York is called the Inner Space Service Station.
Okay.
I grew up on a nearby street. In the early 1980s, it had the first VHS video rental shop inside the petrol station.
Wow, it truly is from another world.
And then it says in parentheses, in the area.
Yeah.
The owner was a big movie fan, particularly all things sci-fi. The place has evolved since then with a space sci-fi theme. You can even clean your car in Planet Wash. Regards from Richard. You're going to have to go down there. Regional sci-fi, it's your heaven.
Yeah.
Regional sci-fi.
The sign says last shop before Mars.
Ah.
So
That's Andrew Mars. Andrew Mars got a small grocer's shop up there, apparently.
And Louisa in North Somerset has just confirmed that ASMR actually stands for Autonomic Sensory Meridian Response.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
And it can help with anxiety. Apparently it's a good thing. If you're watching the right sort of thing, I think you should organise a little ASMR night.
Yeah, maybe I'll record the dog's nails on the floor. Beautiful sound. Look, Sarah Champion's up next, speaking of beautiful sounds. And my poetry podcast, Frank Skinner's poetry podcast, is out on Wednesday. John Masefield this week. I must go down to the seas again. And also the last in an episode of my series about Alexander Pope and Jonathan Swift is on Sky Arts Tuesday night at 8 o'clock with the fabulous Denise Miner. And you can download my poetry podcast from wherever you get your podcasts. Oh my goodness, I felt like a terms and conditions guy, but slower. Better. That's how it usually goes. Look, thanks for listening this morning. It's been, as ever, a beauteous experience. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.